How we doing? How we doing? If you jumped on, do me that favor and comment below. Let me know you're here. Today we're going to be talking about hitting approaches. Okay, your hitting approach. What's up, Coop? We're going to be talking about the hitting approach. I want to talk to you guys about what you guys are doing. MJ in the building. What's going on, MJ? So we got the hitting approach. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Talking about the hitting approach. So I'm going to be answering all you guys' questions regarding the hitting approach or your hitting approach, or if you have any questions regarding the hitting approach, let me know, and I'm going to answer all those questions because I'm curious, because a lot of you have been asking me about doing a little podcast based on the hitting approach, or different hitting approaches, which your hitting approach will change in different situations. Okay. So let me know how you guys are doing. You guys play this week? Anyone play this weekend? MJ, how you been hitting, man? I've been thinking about you. I actually thought about you last week, and I wanted to, check in on you to see how you were doing. Coop, what about you? How you been doing? Oh, you don't play till February? Yeah. Where you at? You up north? Oh, okay, MJ. So that's the reason why you haven't called me, because you're too big league now, huh? Is that what it's that's what it's all about, huh? You big league now, you can't even call me back. Okay. But you led the team in all the, hitting categories. What about doubles, and did you hit a good amount of doubles? Were you driving the ball? I know you walked. You know the strike zone better than anybody. So, I know you got your walks in. Um, and then as far as were you getting the ball more in the air? Were you hitting more line drives in the air, playing in the gaps? Let me know. And what drills? uh, yes, you hear that? Teammates love the book. By the way, get your books, guys. Your get the book. It help you out. MJ Rodriguez, he's a baller in college, and he uses the book to help him and getting results. Michael says, I've been doing better loading much earlier than I was. Amazing, Michael. Keep it going. Always working, always moving forward. Our team is starting freshmen to varsity scrimmages. Oh, nice. Nice. That's cool. Stop you always, my man. Yeah, letting doubles, hits, and RBIs. That's awesome. Yeah, man. I mean, hey, you got all the talent, man. You got all the tools to be special. It just comes down to how bad do you want it. If you get really focused and you commit, you can be dangerous, man. Dangerous. We had those conversations in the office about you, about if you really focused and you're like, I'm just gonna put all my effort towards it and just go for it. Yeah, sky's the limit. I mean, plus you got a bloodline of family members who play professionally and are in baseball. So it's in your blood. That's awesome though about you leading the team in doubles. Keep doing that. That's your ticket. Your doubles will turn into homers, and that's how you get paid. Get you back to D1 and start killing it out there. Coop says, should I guess pitches when hitting? I've done it for my last few at bats and have hit the ball hard, just getting unlucky. So, Coop, let me ask you this question: when it comes to the hitting approach or your hitting approach, what are you guessing? Are you guessing fastball? Are you guessing like what counts are you guessing? You know what I mean? Are you like Give me a little bit more info because just saying you should guess pitches when hitting. I mean, technically, we all kind of guess pitches. Our whole goal as a hitter is to eliminate pitches, So when the count's 2-0, 3-1, we automatically eliminate the other pitches. And we say, okay, he's going to throw a fastball because the count's 2-0, or the count's 3-0. We know he's going to throw a fastball, or 3-1. We know he's going to throw a fastball. So we eliminated the other pitches just so that we focus on one, and that's the reason why in those counts, batting average and RBIs and extra base hits go up because you eliminate those pitches or eliminate the other pitches around. So our whole goal as a hitter is to eliminate. Okay, eliminate what the pitcher may throw, and the better you can be at that, the better success you're going to have as a hitter. So when you say, should I guess pitches? Technically, you are doing that, but you're not like saying, I'm going to guess curveball and sit on that curveball. Now, at your age, I wouldn't technically say guess. I would say, because, can pitchers at your age throw two pitches or three pitches for strikes? Not many. So you can eliminate maybe two of those pitches. The person that actually a D1 pitcher could throw two pitches for strikes. Okay. A 1.5 pitcher, so occasionally he could throw an off speed pitch for a strike. That's like a D3 player. Okay. So at your level, not many players could throw two pitches for strikes. And when you get to, the pro level, it's three pitches for strikes. And the really good pitchers can throw four pitches for strikes. So then that's when you're playing, okay, now you have to eliminate through in the bat. But I said all that to say focus on hitting the fastball because at your level, there's not too many guys that could throw two pitches for strikes. Now, if you do get a guy that you're facing and he throws a good off-speed pitch and he throws it for strikes, then you can say, all right, I'm going to put all my eggs in that basket. But for the most part, sitting fastball for you, fastball away, they're going to throw away. That's going to give you a lot of success at your level. Great question. In a game, I faced a pitcher who threw high and the ump called everything a strike. I always have to walk. How do I use an approach with that? The whole point of baseball is adjust and adapt. There's going to be some times where the ump's going to call it up. So now you have to adjust. Now you have to look for the fastball up if that's not your original approach. And, there's going to be times when you're going to be playing and just like I was telling Coop, there's guys throwing good curveballs or good slider, and he's just striking everybody out or just, getting everybody out with that curveball or slider. So then you have to adjust and adapt. And the whole point of the game is adjusting and adapting. And the more you can do that, the more success you're going to have. So if an umpire is calling a pitch a strike that's up in the zone, you have to adjust to that. Now you might not have to, that may be a pitch that you can't drive out of the ballpark or drive for a double, but maybe you can get a single. When I would face guys who can put balls on the corner of the plate and they would just basically abuse the umpire because they would get one pitch. Let me move this real quick for you. So they'll throw right on the outside corner So that's strike one. But then they would move it over just a little bit more. And the umpire would call that a strike too. So they would just get about this much more off the plate. Then they would try with two strikes and go a little bit more. And, after you see it like once or twice, you got to battle. So you have to start making the adjustment. Now, that's basically the whole point of the game. I had to make the adjustment. I'll foul it off or I'll slap it into right field. I couldn't take my aggressive swing because I had to make the adjustment. So there's some pitchers you're going to be able to just tee off on, and then there's other pitchers where you're just going to have to adjust. And in your situation, sometimes you just got to, take your single, take your walk, and feel good about that. Also, I'm fine with walks. I have the most stolen base on my team because of it, and I'm at the bottom of the lineup. Take your walks. Take your walks. And you're at the bottom of the lineup right now. Doesn't mean that you should stay at the bottom of the lineup. Commit yourself. Have a goal in mind. What's your goal? Every time you step up to the plate, you should have a goal. And every time you're at I would say, like, every time you come to the ballpark and you see your name, shouldn't be content with having your name at the bottom of the lineup. You always want to be pushing to be better. So um, keep working hard. And as far as the approach goes, make those adjustments, because there's going to be times where things are going to be out of your control. But if you don't let that phase you and you stay focused and you adjust, you'll still get your success. Francisco Lindor. How can I hit more line drives? I always pop up with no power. So today we're talking about the hitting approach. All we're talking about is hitting approach today. We're not talking about the mechanics or anything. We're just talking about hitting approach. I'm answering all your questions with hitting approach. And then maybe next week we'll talk about, depending on what you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about, about how to hit more line drives, how to drive the ball. And as far as popping balls up with no power, check out my video as far as how to stop popping up. That would give you more insight on what you want to work on. You know what I mean? The guy that we actually talked about, MJ Rodriguez here, he's actually the subject of that video. And we worked on a lot of different things. And, this fall, he's led his team in doubles, hits, and RBIs, just from all the things we worked on. So definitely check out that video. There's a lot of good nuggets in there that'll help you. But today, all we're talking about is hitting approach. Okay. Any tips for seeing the ball better? I've never seen 85/90 until very recently and struggle seeing it. See, since you haven't seen it, you're going to struggle. That's just name of the game. You know what I mean? You haven't seen it. You know, it's just is what it is. But I will say this: if you can go to a cage, go to a cage with the pitching machine and get as close as you can to the pitching machine, right? Where this thing is pumping out, and still try to hit it. Keep your head down and try to like foul balls off and just see it at a fast miles per hour. It's going to be way faster than 85/90. Then when you go in the game, things will slow down because you basically worked faster in practice than you did in the game, right? So that would be my advice to you. That's what we would do as pros. We set up the pitching machine and we put it up at max miles per hour. And this thing would be fuzzing out there. The ball would be like dipping, sinking, rising, and we'd be trying to hit off, the pitching machine. Because if you can square balls off a pitching machine that's going fast, you're going to square a pitcher up in the game, especially in today's game where everyone's throwing 90, 95. They're getting up to 100 miles per hour. So when it comes to seeing the ball better, I would just get off a pitching machine and get close as you can and speed that thing up. You don't even have to take swings, just watch it. So get there and just watch it. Boom, just watch it. And you'll start slowing the game down. The reason why you didn't see the ball well is because your eyes aren't accustomed to seeing 85/90 yet. But as you face it more and more, you'll get comfortable. Everyone always asks me, it's like, man, you're facing 95 miles per hour. Like, that's so fast, 97. But when you face 95, 97 every day, it feels like it's just normal. It slows down because you're so used to it and you're in game mode. That's the reason why guys that are starting do better than the guys that are on the bench. The guys that are on the bench, they're not seeing 95 every day. They're coming in getting one at bat a day or one every 3 or 4 days. So they're not in the rhythm of the game. And so everything's speeding up on them. But the guy that's playing every day, he's seeing it. So he's locked in. So he's getting the feel of the game. He's able to turn on it. So keep working on it and definitely use the pitching machine. Today, guys, all we're talking about is hitting approach. What do you think about choking up with 2 strikes? Yeah, I mean, The goal is to not strike out. Anything that's going to help you to not strike out, that'll help you out. Um, I mean, because two strikes, you're not taking your A swing. I mean, if we were talking, if a analytical guy was here, he would tell me that he would rather you strike out than choke up and hit a single. But the baseball player in me is saying, don't strike out, put the ball in play, get a hit. Rather you be on base than not. But the analytical guys, they would rather you strike out so that you take your A swing. And if you do connect with your A swing, you might hit a double or homer, which could change the game. But the baseball player in me is like, I'd rather just take my knock and be on first base and get the team going, or, you know, that just I just don't like striking out. So I guess it also depends on what's your overall game plan. Like I said, right now, I don't like striking out. So for me, choking up with two strikes, I'm all for it if you need it. If that's your philosophy on hitting. But if your philosophy is just to do damage all the time, then striking out's not so bad. Knowing what you know now, what would be something you would tell your younger self as far as approach? Ooh, that's a great question. I would say that my thing when it comes to hitting approach is um, whatever that I put my mind to, go all in on that. So if I'm looking for a fastball, I'm looking all in on that pitch. And where I'm looking for it at, go all in because that's the best chance for me to drive the baseball. Now, when I start getting in between the pitches, that's when I'm going to struggle. Or that's when you start slapping baseballs instead of driving. So, for the example I said earlier, 2-0, 3-1. 2-0, we know they're going to more likely throw fastball. In that count, I'm looking 2-0. I know where I want it. I want it up in the zone, and I'm going to take the biggest hack I could possibly take. Because when you set your sights on something and you focus, you're going to hammer. It doesn't matter who's throwing, you're going to hammer it. If you say, I'm going to hit a curveball and it's over the plate, and you're focusing on it, when they throw that curveball, I don't care who's throwing it, you're going to hammer it because you're focused on it and it's going to slow down. So the biggest advice I would tell my younger self is to focus on pitches that I want to hit early in the count. Because before I would just go up there and look fastball and then, you know what I mean, then just react to everything else. But I wasn't looking to hammer that fastball. I was just looking fastball, just all right, I'm gonna just, look fastball. If it's in, I'll swing, or if it's away, I'll swing and I'll take my single or whatever. But I would look to do damage on the pitch that I'm actually looking for. So if it's middle away and I know that pitcher throws middle away and it's fastball and it's 2-0, I'm looking for that pitch. And if he throws it in, I'm gonna take it because I'm not dialed in on that pitch, but I'm dialed in the middle away pitch fastball. And that's the one where I'm going to drive oppo. I'll hit it off the wall. I'll drive it, if it's middle of the plate, I could drive it out of the ballpark. That's something I learned too late. So some guys like you start focusing and like literally tell yourself in your head, like, I'm about to hammer this pitch right now. And it doesn't matter who's pitching, you'll hammer them if you're focused on whatever pitch that is. Like I literally almost play like a video game in my head. It's like I put a square, and if he throws a fastball in that square, I'm going to hammer that ball. And I played with that during BP as well. So BP, I'll put a square up, like a mental square while I'm hitting. If he throws it in that, I'm going to hammer, and I try to like drive that ball. And so that would be my tip to my younger self, because growing up they didn't tell me that. They just said, oh, think fastball. And so you end up just, let's say fastball is away, you just see that fastball, you just take a swing at it, you hit a little single, and that's good, but it's not something you can drive. And the game is how you can hit something hard. That's what you want to do. You want to hit something hard. If you got one pitch, where would that be? And if you got it, you're taking your A swing so you can start doing damage. You can hit it as hard as you can. That's how I would play the game. And that's how you get more success. That's how you get more doubles. That's how you stand out. Because two strikes, then you just protect, and then you just hit your single. You got good. You got a good eye. You don't strike out. So that's a great question. What is a good hitting approach for two strikes? Adding on to Michael's question, two strikes from Albert Pujols. I don't know if you guys seen my two strike approach with Albert Pujols video, but what I would do is, and I learned this from him. Before, I would just like look middle away, and I would just hit a ball, to the opposite field. But we had a conversation, Albert Pujols, when I was with the St. Louis Cardinals, and he was talking, and they asked him about two strike approach because he was hitting like 250 with two strikes. And I know you guys are like, that's not that high, but that is high when it comes to at the MLB level. Like most people hit like 160 with two strikes, 180 two strikes. I think my numbers, I think I was like 200 with two strikes. It was like if I just got like two or three hits and got to 230, my batting average and everything would have shot up even higher. But pretty much I was like an out when it came to two strikes. I was either walking or I was just getting out. But what he said was taking a fastball inside and trying to hit it up the middle. So if they threw you a fastball in, instead of trying to turn on it and driving into left field as a right-handed hitter or to right field as a left-handed hitter, trying to hit a line drive right back up the middle. So that's going to force you to bring the ball deeper, and that's going to allow you to stay on that changeup, that curveball, that slider. It's going to allow you to, see the ball better and see it longer, see it deeper. And that really changed everything for me with two strikes. I started walking more. I started hitting more line drives. Take my base hits to the opposite field. And that was the approach that helped me a lot. And I hope it helps you too. Using the diamond approach, do I still swing at hanging curveballs? Of course. If it's in that diamond, yeah, of course. Do damage with that. Yeah. If it's in the diamond, so the diamond is, yeah, if it's in the diamond, you're taking your A swing. Okay. By the way, guys, we are talking about the hitting approach today. That's all we're talking about. Does a pitcher fastball velocity affect your approach against them? Yes. Great question. Great question. So a guy that throws, let's say, facing a Aroldis Chapman, he's throwing 100 miles an hour. With Aroldis Chapman, you don't want to swing at the ball up in the zone because it has rise on it, so it's going to get on you quicker. You want to swing at the ball that's down in the zone. So if you see most of Aroldis Chapman's homers that he's given up, it's balls that are down in the zone. They're not up in the zone. And guys that throw real hard, that's why they're going at the top of the zone because it's harder to hit. So if they're throwing really, really fast, you probably want to look down in the zone. If they're throwing really, really slow, you want to look up in the zone. Now, this is advanced stuff, but I'm just giving you a little idea of what you want to do. If there's a sidearm pitcher, you want to look up in the zone because if you swing at a ball down, you're going to pound that in the ground. So you want to look up in the zone. And you want to push the ball away from you because if you're a right-handed hitter and it's a sidearmer that's right-handed, that ball's going to come in on you. So you don't want the one that starts middle. You want the one that starts middle away that ends up on the middle of the plate. There's definitely a lot of different situations and different approaches. Like I said, your approach and stuff is going to change depending on the situation. How do I sit on a slow pitch? How do you sit on a slow pitch? Sit on a slow pitch. Just sit on. Look for, if you know it's coming, just stay back. One way you could do it, now I'm thinking, okay, now I understand what you're asking. Okay, how do you sit on a slow pitch? So your hitting approach. Your hitting approach could be look up in the zone. That forces you to stay back a little bit more. Or you could start thinking hit the ball to the opposite field. That's going to force you to bring the ball back more. So if you're, that's why you got to try different approaches. Try, um, let's say you're a right-handed hitter and you're trying to hit the ball to right center. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean the ball's going to go to right center, but you're thinking right center, so it starts bringing the ball back a little bit more. So if a guy's throwing slow, you can think right center as a right-handed hitter or left center as a left-handed hitter. Or what I would do is I would change my trigger. And that's something that if you watch any of my videos, I talk about it. So what I did, because I struggle when I would think right center or left center and stuff, but how what worked for me was changing my trigger. And what that means is, say I start getting ready to hit when he releases the ball, and say he throws slow, now I would wait until the ball was out of his hand or even farther out front. So that's when I'll start getting ready. So now the ball gets to me. So after each pitch, I would step out and say, okay, was I on time or was I late or was I early? Um, and if I was too early, then I'll make the adjustment. Okay, now I need to get ready a little bit later. And so now I get ready just a tad bit later, and that brings the ball back a little bit more for me so I can hammer that pitch. Okay. So that would be, I give you a few methods. One is thinking the opposite field. The other is changing your trigger, and that's the one I like. I change my trigger as often as I possibly could. Like that, I think that's the key for a lot of you guys up there. You guys can't have the same timing. Say your guy throws 70 miles per hour and then the guy throws 90 miles per hour. You can't have the same timing and rhythm on both guys because they're completely different. You got to change something in both of them. For me, it was just changing the trigger. On the guy that throws 90, when his leg would get up, then I would get ready to hit. So once he gets to the peak of his leg on his leg kick, then I would start getting ready to hit. But the guy that throws 70, I might have to wait until the ball releases out of his hand to get ready. So that's how you can hit the slow pitch. Great question. Curtis, with the videos on explanation of swing plane, I made an adjustment to my swing plane and have been following through way better, faster, and stronger. Thank you. No, thank you. Thanks for watching my videos. I appreciate that. And giving feedback. I love that. Positive feedback too. Then butterflies won't go away until after that first at bat. Yep. So I always had butterflies before the game, during the national anthem, that first at bat, actually that first pitch. Once that first pitch would go, then I was settled into the game. But I always like what I would say to you is that don't let those butterflies take you out of your first at bat. You still want to be focused. If your pitch is to look for the ball up in the zone and you get that pitch, you take your hack. Okay. When to use the diamond approach versus sitting on a specific spot. I would use the diamond approach as often as you can. Um, the diamond approach means basically it's hitting the mistake that's over the middle of the that's over the middle of the plate. That's going to be basically what the diamond approach is saying. Sitting on a specific spot. I would only do that when you know that that's the spot that you do the most damage. For me, it's up in the zone. So after, jotting down every pitch, looking at my results, sitting on a spot, like for me, would be up in the zone. So I would blend the diamond approach and the specific spot. You still want to early in the count be in that diamond, you know, you definitely want to be there because that's where baseball history is created. It's in the middle of the plate, but I would look for it up instead of down in the zone. Okay, so I would blend a little bit of both of those, but you always want to do diamond approach because the wider you go out, that is harder to hit. The more you can bring it in the diamond, the more success you're going to have. But sitting on a specific spot, knowing where you get the most success at, That's the one where you want to look at early in the count and 2-0 and all that stuff. That's how you're going to get, you know, your best results. What's the best way to slow down to hit a curveball for lefties? Best way to slow down. So staying back on your backside. So best way to slow down. How would I explain best way? Can you give me a little bit more than that? What are the best time to take a pitch and what location? Take best time to take a pitch. I would say anytime. Early in the count, I would take pitches that you weren't looking for. So let's say he throws a strike inside corner and the count is 2-0. It's a hitter's count, hitter's count, he's going to throw a fastball. You're looking for a fastball away or fastball up in the zone, but he throws you a sinker that's in the inside corner. You swing at that pitch, best you're going to get is maybe ground ball to third base or shortstop. But if you take that pitch, you give yourself another chance and you don't give them any information. So I would take that pitch because I wasn't looking for it. Now, if you were looking for that pitch, you take a hack because more than likely you're going to hit it hard because you were looking for it. So the best time to take a pitch, I would say whenever you're not looking for it, because you don't give information to the other team. Whenever you swing, you give information. Whenever you don't swing, you don't give any information. And what location? I would say inside is the hardest pitch for basically majority of every hitter. So I would say inside, taking those pitches. Now, if you're looking for it, you can hammer it, But if you're not looking for it, then it's really tough, especially because everyone teaches you to hit to the opposite field. So that's a great question, Michael. What's the best way to stay out of your head during a bat? Not thinking of so many things at once, thinking of one thing, thinking about focusing on the pitch that you're actually up there to hit and breaking everything down, pitch by pitch, just trying to win the next pitch. That's all you're trying to do, win it. Now, he throws you a ball, you take it, you don't swing, you won that pitch, step out and be like, yeah, I got this guy. All right, I'm going to focus on this pitch. I'm going to look for the ball in this location. He throws it there, you hit it hard, but you get out. You won that at bat because you hit it hard and you were looking for it and you got it. So best way to stay out of your head is focusing on the pitch and your job. Your job isn't to, it is to get hits and be successful, but your only job at the plate should be hitting the ball hard, focusing on hitting the ball hard. That's it. You can't control if they catch it or not. You can't control if it finds green, but you can hit the ball. What is the best way to recognize a curveball? Okay, great question. All right, so what I did to hit a curveball is I started looking for the fastball up in the zone. Okay, so what is that going to allow you to do? You're naturally going to take pitches down in the zone because of you're looking for the fastball up in the zone. And what we want to do is hit curveballs that are up, not curveballs that are down. So once you start practicing fastballs, hitting them at the top of the zone or up in the zone, you're going to naturally take the off-speed pitches down in the zone. And where do pitchers taught to pitch? They're taught to throw the curveball down, the changeup down, the slider down, and get you to, basically break your base to move your lower half. Now, if you're looking for the pitch up in the zone, you're not going to swing at that pitch that is down, that curveball down, that changeup down, that slider down. You're going to take it, which is going to force them to throw more fastballs because you're not swinging on those off-speed pitches. So my advice is to change your hitting approach, where you're looking for the pitch. Start practicing fastballs up in the zone. Start practicing front toss up in the, basically don't swing at pitchers down. When you're doing front toss in a cage, only swing at the ones that are up in the zone, the strikes. Start thinking about hitting off the tee off the top of the zone. Focus on changing your sights to up in the zone when you know that they can throw the curveball. you know. But if a guy can't throw a curveball for a strike, you can eliminate that pitch. You don't have to swing at it. But to recognize it, I would just say start practicing on fastballs up in the zone. I didn't make my high school team for my freshman year and sophomore year, and the high school coaches keep on saying that you can just play another sport. I love baseball. Keep playing, keep working hard, Aaron. It's never over until you say it's over. What causes the outside strike to look really far away, and how do I hit it? So when usually the ball looks so far away from me, I was spinning off the ball. So I was turning too soon, or I was hitting everything too far out front. So I basically was going away from the pitcher. So as a right hand hitter, I would be turning away and hitting more ground balls to shortstop and third base and pulling off it, basically opening up. So then when they would throw away, I couldn't get to it because I was opening that front shoulder up too soon. So what you want to do is start working on driving into the right side. So have someone soft toss you, side flip you, and you try to hit it to the opposite side. You can even set up a pitching machine to, like, let's say where the pitching mound is, go like 8 feet over to your opposite side, and it can throw, and it forces you to stay on that pitch so you can drive it to the opposite field. You could, what else could you do? Um, Start working on a one-handed bat. So you have your regular bat, then you have a one-handed bat, and hit with the one-handed bat. Hit BP, hit front toss, hit all those things with hit it. Just hit with it, right? And that's going to bring the ball back. So now it forces you to stay on that ball that's going to be away. Those are just little hacks that you can do to start hitting the ball more away and staying on it. Basically, you just need to bring the ball back and get your direction from going this way to letting it come to you and driving it the other way. And I want baseball to be a part of my love for as long as possible. Amazing. Oh boy. How can I get the pitcher to throw inside? Pitcher keep throwing outside, but I crush the insides. Yeah, so that's basically exactly what I was saying. Um, get closer to the plate. That would be one. But I will say this: your whole goal is to adjust and adapt. And you heard me say this earlier. Maybe you weren't on, but adjust and adapt as a hitter. At your level, guys are going to throw away. So that's just the name of the game. So you got to force yourself to learn how to hit that. So, if you know that your strength is inside, then get closer to the plate. And now the ball away is going to be more middle for you. Then what's going to happen though is the ball that's inside to you is going to be really, really in, and you got to take those pitches. So all the guys you see that are right on top of the plate, they're taking the pitch that's in and they're hitting the pitch that is away. Because majority of the pitchers throw middle away. That's basically that's no matter what level you play, they're going to throw it away. So get closer to the plate. But I will say this: you can't force the pitcher to throw it there, but you can. They're going to. I will say you got to adjust too. So focus on hitting that ball away. Work on that. How can I make the pitcher throw inside? Just answer your question. What are the advantages of using a longer bat? I have a 13-year-old that is still using a 31-inch bat. How many ounces? 31, 29. Does that would be 29 ounce or would be 28 ounce? So the advantage, longer bat would be a little bit heavier, so allow him to hit the ball a little bit farther. But at the same time, if he's driving the ball with a 31-inch bat, why get the bigger bat if he can't swing that? I didn't swing a 34-inch bat until I was in double A. I used to swing a 33-inch, and I didn't think I can swing a 33-inch. I was at UCLA swinging a 33-inch. I knew I should have been swinging a 34, but, and in high school, I was swinging 32, and 33. I swung a 32 probably at his age, and then a 33 when I was a junior and senior. So I would just say it's going to give you a little bit more barrel. And since it does give you a little bit more barrel, it's going to allow you to drive the ball just a little bit more. My travel coaches continue to say that in outside pitches, you need to bring your front foot closer to the pitch. I don't agree with it because I don't want to have to think mid at bat. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that's not that was what I was taught to when I was younger. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I was taught too. Is like you have to dive over there and hit it, but that's not exactly what you want to do. You just want to let the ball get deeper. That's all you do when you hit the outside pitch. You take the same swing, you just let it get deeper. BB core, yeah, I know it's a BB core, but how many ounces is it? I'm guessing it's about 28 ounce. So if you go up to a 32, it's going to be 30-ounce bat instead of a 29 ounce, which is going to give you just a little bit more leverage. That's the reason why, like, the heavier your bat is, it gives you just a little bit more. So, basically, I guess the farther you can hit the ball. So that's why guys get longer bats, bigger bats, heavier bats. Um, but if he's driving the ball with the 31 inch, I mean, let him keep that. Amazing. So today, we're from the rest of this, all we're going to be talking about is hitting approach. That's it. Today is all about hitting approach. And then whatever you guys want next week, we'll do that. But today, only hitting approach. Any more questions regarding the hitting approach or different hitting approaches? For most of all you guys, like I said, D1 pitchers can throw two pitches for strikes. So if you're facing a guy throwing 92 or 91 or whatever, he has two pitches he possibly could throw. He would that's his whole thing. And then once you get to college, they learn the third pitch. And then when you get pro, it's like actually in college it's like two and a half. They're two and a half. When they come pro, it's three pitches. And then once they like get to the triple A, double A, into the big leagues, it's four pitches. So at your level, the best pitchers are only throwing two pitches for strikes. So you really don't need to look at or basically focus on those two pitches. You could just live off of one pitch. So for all you players out there, look fastball because at your level they can't throw the second pitch for strike. One and a half pitchers are D3 guys or low level D2 pitchers. Okay. So most of these guys you're going to be facing are just they're one pitch pitchers. They're fastball. That's it. And you can take the off speed pitches. Do you like your players to take the first pitch? Be aggressive. Swing the bat. Swing the bat. Because, you know, I was a guy that took the first pitch. And what happens is you're taking the first pitch just to take the first pitch because you're hesitant or you know what I mean? You're like timid, passive aggressive, is that's what you want to call it. Um, then what happens is you start expanding your zone. So you're already in a defense count, a defensive count, basically 0-1. So you basically took yourself from an 0-0 count, which you were in the driver's seat, to 0-1. And then they'll expand the zone. So you could be 0-2 in like two pitches. So I will say swing the bat. Now, if you are going to take the first pitch, it could be the first to bat. That's it. get one pitch, let them like see the pitch, get your timing, and then go from there. But each at bat, I would say no. After the first at bat is game on, game on, game on. Start swinging because you want to give yourself the best chance to hit the ball the hardest. And if you're dialed in saying, I'm going to drive a fastball, if it's right there from the first time you get into the batter's box, that mindset is different from, let me just take a pitch. Now, okay, now I'm ready. But you're 0-1 now. You're defensive. That's different from, I'm about to hammer something right now. 0-0. About to hammer something. If it's right where I want it now, if they take it because it's not there, that's fine. But if they're looking, saying, I'm about to hammer this pitch, and they're ready for it, and it's there, and they take the A swing and they miss or fell off, now they're in a more offensive mindset, and that's going to help them to be, basically that's the mindset you want. You want that killer mindset. That's what you want. You want that mindset. Great question. Do you believe in swinging until one strike? Same thing he said, basically taking the first pitch. I just explained that because I'm sometimes forced to in close games. If your coach tells you to, not swing, don't swing. You got to listen to your coach. Thank you for the advice. Yeah, thank you, Bloop and the Blast. Got to get you guys in the little course that's coming soon. I know you want to be in there, so I got to get you in there. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any more questions, let me know. And he said, congrats on 5K subs, almost 6K. Yeah, I got to start making some, I'm going to start experimenting a little bit more of my content so I can start growing a little bit faster. But 5K, I'm proud of that. I'm happy. And that's you guys. Thank you. What is your approach facing high velo? Look down in the zone, but it depends on what you say high velo. Like, you're talking about 100 for me, I would probably look down in the zone. But if he's throwing 96, 97, I can still look up in the zone and turn on that. So I would say, yeah, I have a video on it. It talks about the hitting approach, about when someone's throwing gas, what do you want to look for? Check that video out. Check that video out. During tournament play, what should players do to warm up, BP or T? We'll talk about that another time. We're talking about hitting approaches right now, just all hitting approach. But just to simple answer your question, whatever the kids feel like gets them ready for the game. I was a big BP guy. I wasn't a T guy, so I would say definitely BP. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for tuning in and dropping your comments. If you have any more comments about hitting approach, I'm going to put it in the community tab and just comment below and I'll answer it. I really want to know what's your issues that you guys are having because it gives me ideas to make videos on. So definitely write it in there when it comes to hitting approach. And then next week, I want to know what you guys want to talk about. We'll talk about stuff that you guys want. I feel like you guys were asking me a lot of like swing playing questions and all that stuff. So we'll talk about something regarding the swing, but I'll leave it up to you guys. So check the community post to see, what I'll let you guys come up with it. So it's going to be like a poll. You guys just click it, the one that we get the most, and we'll run with that. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next week.